I get it. Some people may want me to get right to the point. The point is, we need change. We need unity. We should probably start with what we can know for a fact and unite around simple, universal, timeless principles to do so. That's it. Not really much more difficult from that. The rest is limitless in explanation and perspective. Also why NITA is so magical in its way of promoting our own expression and creativity on all that exists within our world. I get it. People are consumed, whether it be by the foods that control them, the government that controls them, the technology that controls them, and ultimately the beliefs of the mind that binds to them. Again, there may exist a lack of heart, and when we speak about the mind and heart, we too can also forget about the guts for action. All disease is connected to the gut. It is also the most important region of the body among birth and in the formation of all else, nutrient assimilation, allergies, immunity. The gut does such all and is in today's world under the most attack. Therefore, it only makes sense some may hesitate about action, if not being misled into taking actions they aren't even fully conscious of. It only makes sense that I always have something to talk about too, because I can easily look around me and see the many on their phones, the many with the lack of eye contact or personality. Our human spirit needs revival. I see and observe that all the problems in the society would actually very easily and naturally be fixed, whether it be by disintegration or natural crowding out by adding in, if we simply follow the footsteps of NITA. Yes, I'm referring to all health diseases, and mental and gut and heart health especially too. No surprise these are the biggest regions affected. No surprise the foods have direct correlation, or that all the media influence also correlated to affecting these. Simply by having a thinking populace, and obligated to be self-sustainable populace, there is less of all evil in total and as a whole. If any doctor or physician truly cared about healing individuals, they would look into NITA and realize that there is greater healing to be done in the world. A mission as message that applies to fixing our disconnection with nature. The fact that we are already connected to nature simply means we are the ones opting out ourselves with these interceptors and manipulations. Just like how we are the ones who keep all those in power in place. Again, to see and understand that NITA treats the whole, then that is the utmost remedy for all of health on all the populace. It is to see that any individual change is important, but as long as it's creating a ripple effect through which NITA allows its passage to those in the dark, or if you will, to those who need the truth or healing the most. It is to understand that NITA allows for the most creativity, not simply within itself, but especially from the benefits coming from such. Because I may speak of NITA, but oftentimes what I'm also speaking of is the direct effects and benefits of NITA. To not understand or realize this effect means that you haven't looked into NITA or the natural law or the world itself enough, to put it blatantly. like to not seek in representing NITA, even though it could be our last hope to all matter, and that, with all people united under one banner for humanity, anything is possible. To not seek is to not care. Because clearly, I care, so why don't you see why I do? I never stop persisting among the facts that simply talking to one another and reaching out and educating on universal principle will help and heal all people. I'll say it again and again, because it is the truth. Sometimes I'll be more direct than not. Some people may require a good whack in the face of reality itself, reflected back to them in every language possible. If that's what it takes to save the world, so I'll do it. I'll try. Nature's work, yes. The path to living with truth's work, yes. Ego, no. Love, yes. Open, yes. However, critical, yes. I don't mean to be the superhero here, but when you have the answer to all the world's problems and realize that it's actually a process like all things, there is no all-one miracle drug. Would you share? And if nobody shared anything like this, which they don't, and if nobody saw it or realized it, which they don't, would you share this plain sight but considerable understanding? See, while things are in plain sight, despite there being many interceptors, understanding is a whole another process. And we make that here, not anywhere in particular, not in church or in any government building. All the law and spirituality and truth, it's all here and with you. To know this should be even more powerful. You should want to, because it gives you a greater sense of worth and power, a greater sense of you, senses, control of self, self-governance, and self-healing with nature. It is one and the same, self-governance and self-healing. And therefore, no physician with a competent and open mind can deny NITA unless they simply admit to their own ignorance and uncaring self. I don't say uncaring nature because I know there is feelings deep inside them. I know there's an inner child deep inside them. It's always been a part of them. But, like all things in the modern denatured world, it has been suppressed and therefore oppressed. Therefore, it also only makes sense that the quote-unquote press does this, because it's part of the very word, pressing on you, not that it's necessary or in any way essential. Just make a simple observation of them. Are they a robotic, must speak perfect and look perfect and report perfect image? See, I'm not the one asking for a utopia. I'm asking for us to simply live, abide to the real law, use the real medicine, eat the real foods, be and find and create the real human. We all are real. Wake up to reality. You are real. The only thing I'm seeking is already here, simply not embraced, again, disconnected. And again, do you wonder why they use the word connection for internet? You are plugging your brain into these devices. You feed them your data. They use this data to make even more powerful, consciousness-consuming materials, technology. And again, nothing is free. When inventors of the past found ways, the politicians of the world aka the denatured humans of the world, always found ways so that nothing is ever free. And in truth, nothing is free, as all takes work. Just like this and NITA, it's simply more evidence to your effort. However, what I'm saying here is that the expenses pile on, and we've made them. In other words, all these creations of our own are adding responsibility, adding presses onto our life, pressures, obligations, force, violence, obedience, weights, all alike and all at work within the denatured system. If something is so heavy on you, you have no choice but to obey by the force of the object pressing upon you. And with enough force comes pain, comes obligation to move along with it and allow yourself to be crushed. Our world has turned to surrender, to defeat, because it is this fall of willpower, this degradation of human spirit that has taken place. And for any one moment where somebody claims, I'm too young to think of this all on my own, I completely despise people as such who just want to point fingers all day long. It doesn't matter who promotes the truth. The truth is the truth. There is always things we hear from others, but I can assure you all these words and analogies are of my own. I could be on a farm, I could be writing my health books, working with clients, hanging with family more, or whatever. But instead, I'm actually sacrificing my time to this cause. And don't get me wrong, it is a necessary cause. And being that it comes with great awakenings and personal benefits, this sacrifice, although hard at times, obviously promotes good, therefore life, therefore health, happiness, and love. Just know your limits. There's time to reflect before time to project. And this is necessary. I may write thousands of words each day or be younger than you, even, but it does not matter, because you are better in some way of your own. Don't just look to me or want to hear from me. You are the change, but nature is the answer for change. So do you change? Do you want to change? What do you want for change? What is change if we know all is present? Understanding questions like this should start and help you open the mind more. Do what I do, perhaps. Journal your thoughts. Maybe think with music. Spend time outside. Consume mind-focusing and opening foods like cacao. Observe life at different perspectives. Treat life like a journey of mystery, where you are one among many who sees things from your own angle, because you do. Therefore, it is again this recognition process that is the ignition to acknowledgement for knowledge, to then ledge that onto action that becomes passive after active. Meaning, actions become habit. You will not feel bad upon this world or have many mental ailments if you can make your life feel special and unique and powerful and one of a kind. Again, you are, and they've kept it from you. I had to wake up, just like you. The reason why certain belief systems are so effective and work for many through all the many generations is because they invoke all such senses of worth, value, search, meaning, mystery, insight, knowledge, faith, and connectivity I do admittedly want you to feel such way with NITA. I have no shame in saying this, because I know it's not manipulative. It helps us understand all the rest and all in general. In no way is this a form of some culture, because there is no secrecy, no oaths, no rituals, no select thoughts, no select individuals, no grand planned schemes, nothing against the act of nature itself. NITA simply facilitates nature and allows you to recognize the natural action, especially to partake at certain times more than others. And this is one of those times. We need action. Action needs you. You have the consciousness to act. Will you use it? Now, some individuals even speak on behalf of keeping their country flag. Nothing like that bothers me, of course. Do as you wish. Just realize you likely have no connection, no real connection to it. You really have no part in it. Whereas NITA, it literally is for all of us. No joke. It is created, it is shared by us. And it's to always exist, and it's based on principles that have always existed. Therefore, for when comparing to countries with propaganda and hundreds of years of war and cover-ups, yeah, I'll take NITA any day. It asks nothing of me, and the repercussions are of my own. It's of natural karma. If there's anything more to be addressed that you know of, let me know, and I'll be sure to explain. Of course, I may always go more in detail among anything. However, if you do not find the simplicity in this, I may say that you may be part of the problem we all face. There's much you can write, so much you can do. Don't limit your mind. Open up to the great potential. You can change the world. We all can. Because there is so much everywhere. One may call anyone who looks into this all as crazy. But it is not. It's the manifestation of opening your mind in the modern world. There's too many coincidences and actions and phenomenons to count. Your journey is forever. Enjoy it. Do you question why some people can understand certain equations, certain music, certain art? I'll leave you with a great tip, perhaps. Truth must be connected to unity. By all matter starting with yourself, nature, and others. If you can connect this, you've got it. And that it should in no way ever be connected in any degree to one individual or ideology. Truth lives in all of us, and that nature is too, this inner and connected expression that has to do with all things, from the sky to the ground, the good and bad simply represented by certain individuals is simply to represent ourselves. One thing is for sure, at the roots of it, my beliefs in self are perhaps the most and truest of being oppressed. When it comes to politics, religion, eating, long hair, everything perhaps. However, yet I am able to get along with anyone, shall I choose and talk with them to where we still reach understanding. That's the point. It doesn't matter your beliefs. You can find understanding. You can. So I ask you, do you represent? Let NITA be a part of your walk the talk. I'll walk with you. Thank you for listening. This is Cory Endrulat, NITA 1. Please represent. Thank you.